Welcome to ScareTalk, a horror movie podcast for horror film reviews, ratings, rankings, and rumors. Now for your hosts, Danny, Joel, and Katrina.
All right, this is ScareTalk. I am Danny, and I'm here with controversial Katrina.
Hello.
Yeah. And then we've got juvenile Joel.
Oh.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm a juvenile.
Yeah. Juvenile. We're gonna today have a little conversation about some controversy in horror right now. And some maybe controversy on our Facebook and Instagram. So
yeah,
if you want to go check those out, you can see, we're going to talk about something that we posted and some comments that we've received, maybe. And
just what talk it brought up.
Yeah,
the conversation it has stirred.
We're trending.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we are officially, but
no,
we should be.
Not. I think you have to get in like the millions to trend.
Okay.
But, we're halfway through 1
close.
million. So.
Yeah, getting close.
Yeah.
So, Joel, you just said we're almost at what, 500,000 people have seen this post?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Remember back when we first started podcasting and creating a Facebook page? Who knew that over 500,000 people were going to see a post?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and it's literally one post because all the other ones have not gotten nearly that many. But it is a controversial question mark post.
And that's what we're going to talk about.
It's a
meme.
It's
controversial
to give. Yeah.
So anyways, so we started about 3 years ago and almost 4 years ago.
It's in January.
Coming up on 4.
It'll be 4 years.
Crazy. At least the start of the 4th year.
How long have we been doing video?
So it's been almost a year.
February of this year?
Yeah, I think so.
February this year? So okay.
And then Knock at the Cabin was our first one.
Okay. And how long would you say we've been using Zencastr?
So Zencastr we've been using for a few months now. I want to say like 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
We started with other services and we were kind of shopping around. And so you probably, if you watch our show rather than listen, you might have noticed some changes in the formatting and, some of the different effects we're able to do and all that. So we decided on Zencastr because of the options that it gave us and the price and the quality.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and you know what I notice is a big difference in the editing time that it takes you.
Yeah.
Because you're able to get this editing done a lot quicker now.
Yeah.
When we were trying out other ones, it was taking you a long time to add in the different things you want to add in and do the different.
Yeah. So the editing is quicker. It's really easy. To make a podcast, all you need is a computer and a microphone, really.
Yeah.
But if you want to make something good quality, then you're going to want to go to Zencastr.com/pricing. So let me tell you that again.
Yeah. Well, actually, did you know that they have a deal right now? Yeah. If you
go to Zencastr.com/pricing and use my code ScareTalk, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same experience I do. For all my podcasting and content needs, it's time to share your story. So get out there and make a podcast.
Share your story.
You can talk about stuff like this.
Yeah.
So
let's get back into the controversy.
Scream 7.
Okay, we're going to Scream 7.
Yeah,
okay.
Let's talk about it.
Yep.
So, I don't even think it's actually been announced that there's going to be a Scream 7. They announced Christopher Landon as the director,
Yeah.
but they never actually officially announced that Scream 7 is going to be made. So it's kind of weird that he did
I
that.
feel like getting a director is pretty much an announcement that you're making another Scream movie.
Yeah.
At this point, it's up in the air whether we're getting a sequel or a reboot, though.
Yeah.
So that's the new news coming out, which is kind of crazy. But
Melissa Barrera, she was the lead. She played Sam. She was the lead in 5 and 6. She was posting some stuff online that Spyglass Entertainment didn't really appreciate, and so they fired her. So she won't be in the next one. The next day, Jenna Ortega was announced to not be in the next one either. That was said to be due to scheduling issues because I know right now they're filming Beetlejuice 2. And then, she's going to be doing the second season of Wednesday.
And that filming is, where was it? Ireland?
It's in, I don't know where exactly, but it's definitely in a different country.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like this is because apparently this was months before the whole Melissa Barrera thing came out.
Yeah.
That she was like the whole schedule conflict thing came up, but I feel like Scream would have waited for her. Like she would have been the head of the Scream 7 movie. Like without her sister there, it was going to focus on Tara. Yeah. I feel like Scream 7 would have waited until she had time to do this. So the whole, I think, what I think is that she actually pulled out completely because they fired Melissa Barrera.
Yeah.
And just using the schedule conflict as just like, as the reason, but I don't think it is. But
that is what I've seen others' opinions being.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I have wondered if it was more so a whole thing of, okay, we're going to try to work this out with Jenna to figure out the scheduling stuff. We're trying to keep her on. She was wanting out already because of the conflicts and everything. And then since they were letting Melissa go, they're like, well, we're going to have to change the story anyway. So let's just let Jenna go and we'll focus our attention on where we want to take the story now without Tara and Sam. But
yeah, there's all kinds of different speculations you can make with it. It was weird timing.
It was very weird
because it was
timing.
the next day.
Yeah.
And what I was seeing was people were posting about how the morning of Jenna Ortega being announced to not be in Scream 7, there were posts about Jenna Ortega has asked to be, the contract being like negated or adjusted, or her being out of the contract that she had with Scream 7. So then they announced that she wasn't going to be in it. But then I also saw that she never actually was under contract for a Scream 7.
She wasn't. The contract was for Scream 5 and 6, so they would have had to make another contract for Scream 7.
Yeah.
Which I feel like they should have done 5, 6, and 7. Yeah.
Yeah, so she didn't even have to get out of a contract. She just wouldn't sign one.
Right.
Yeah.
So that whole rumor of her trying to get out of the contract doesn't seem to match up with reality. At least from what, the internet is telling us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what I think is she was not going to do the movie from the beginning. Maybe not from the beginning, but recently or the last few months or whatever, that was decided. But then there was this Melissa Barrera stuff, and then there was the rumor of her trying to get out of her contract. So then they're like, no, we're not even going to entertain this. We're just going to let you know right now she's not going to be in the movie because of scheduling issues. Not because she's trying to get out of a contract or because she's trying to, defend Melissa or whatever. And if that were the case, then I think Jenna Ortega would be like, no, that's not why. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
if
actually
she-
wanting to not do this movie.
If she
If that were the
wanted
case.
to defend Melissa Barrera, she would have made a statement defending Melissa Barrera. I think that whether she agrees with Melissa's statements or not, I think that she probably sees it, and her like publicists and whatever probably see it in her best interest to not try to get into the debate. It's not an appropriate area for them to be trying to bring that topic up. That's not their role right now. And she has a lot on her plate that she has signed contracts to, and I would imagine that there's probably agreements with whoever she's signed on with to not be engaging in this discussion.
Maybe.
And
or any controversial political or
exactly
whatever issues.
Yeah.
Because, she's the face of the biggest Netflix show right now. She's the face. Well, I guess not of Beetlejuice, but she's gonna be in.
She'll be in it.
I imagine she'll have a big role.
And she's just really huge right now in horror and in general. Really,
just in general, everybody knows who she is at this point.
And I think that also, though, to go to what you were saying, that if they already knew that Jenna was already most likely not going to sign for Scream 7, then I imagine that made it a lot easier for the decision to just let Melissa go after seeing those statements. And they were like, we don't want to be associated with this political conflict right now. So we're going to let her go because we already don't have Jenna anyway. So then when the rumors started coming out about Jenna, then they're like you said, let's just cut this out and let them know, no, this was a scheduling thing. We already weren't getting Jenna. So
the thing with the whole controversy, so Melissa Barrera made these comments, and I don't know, looking at what she actually said what the studio responded with is that she was anti-Semitic, like made some comments about being anti-Semitic and everything. And I didn't get that from what she actually said in her posts. She was wanting ceasefire. She was wanting. She did make some comparisons to the Holocaust, which is not a smart thing to do. But these comments, usually when you get a conflict, when you get a controversy, the controversy is because people respond in a negative way towards what the celebrity said. And so the studios feel like they have to act and like get rid of this actor or whatever. Nobody was talking about this. Like the whole controversy didn't need to even happen. Like they could have taken her aside and been like, yeah, you don't say this stuff anymore, and left it alone. The studio caused the controversy by firing her, by making a bigger deal out of this than everyone was. Like nobody was talking about this. Hardly anyone at all. And so I feel like they kind of just like shot themselves in the foot by doing this. Like they could have, there could have been ways around this without firing her. That, and still like making their point that, what you're saying is like, we don't agree with, they could have made a statement. Like, we don't agree with what she's saying. On Twitter or whatever, or X. But to fire her, you're causing a much bigger reaction than what was necessary.
So she obviously offended somebody who's high up at Spyglass.
Yeah.
And So I think that's where
And you
that's
need
like
to
the bottom line.
That's what it comes down to.
And
Yeah, and-
someone who is your boss that, I don't know if she knows anything about those people or whatever, but I think that's what it comes down to. And they don't care maybe that it'll affect the movie
Yeah.
in a negative way. They're like, hey, in 2 weeks, everybody will forget about this anyways. The movie doesn't come out until 2025. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I heard they're still trying to shoot for 2024, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Because they have to they're scrapping their entire script at this point.
Yeah.
The Radio Silence guys are writing it, so I'm happy about that. They're not involved, like they're not directing it, but they are writing the script for it. So we'll see like what happens. But it's just I don't know. It just again, like if that is the case, and it probably is, you probably offended like one person that works at Spyglass that's like high up there. But it's like get a thicker skin. Like honestly, it's it's you're making a bigger deal out of this than her saying that was.
Well,
Like,
and we don't know what behind the scenes conversations were had. We don't know if they did have a conversation with her and say, hey, you need to take down that post and put an apology out there. And she refused to do so. We don't know if there were some more, stuff leading up to it.
Right.
And there might have been, concern about it becoming a big deal, and they were trying to get ahead of it. While I do agree that letting her go did bring more attention to it than just not doing anything.
Yeah.
But I think that they did have the right to have that concern and that feeling of like, hey, you're the face of this movie and of our company, right? Like you're one of the people who is signed on with our company, and this is not what we stand for. And so we're not going to allow this. She might have already signed an agreement saying that she wouldn't post things about political situations, because there's been so much political controversy in all different directions, that I imagine when people get signed on to somewhere, I mean, even in, just our like regular old jobs, we, I know I have to sign an agreement that, hey, you're the face of this company. So you are not allowed to post certain things on social media. And if you do, your account has to be private and whatever, So I think that there could be a lot more behind the scenes that went into this decision than we know about. So
it's
I never liked Sam, so I'm just fine with it.
Such a hater.
So let's talk about the positives that could come from this. So there is stuff out there about Spyglass, really gonna be hopefully trying to convince Nev Campbell to come back, play Sydney. I imagine if she comes back, then that would come with I think his name was Mark in the movie.
Yeah. Patrick Dempsey.
Dempsey.
I mean, he's, Thanksgiving. Also, he's the sexiest man of the year in People magazine. Yeah. So,
okay.
like,
he's still, what was it? McDreamy? He's still McDreamy?
Yeah, he's still McDreamy. So,
I haven't met McDreamy yet.
Oh, no, he's in the show.
No,
Not yet.
Been in since season 1.
Yeah, he was in season 1.
No, I was just looking at the.
Yeah, he's
the
other guy.
No. He's not called McDreamy then.
So dumb that I know this.
No, I don't think he's called McDreamy.
Yeah.
Like if he's what's his face? The first guy.
Yeah.
I have never heard him referred to as McDreamy.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
he is.
He is not.
He is very
He is
McDreamy.
not McDreamy. No, not at all. And especially if you know him from Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
No, he is unlikable.
He's the
He
sexiest
is-
man alive.
Yeah.
Not in my eyes. He is
So,
absolutely.
That's crazy.
Trash.
I didn't
I don't
think
even.
he was like doing
I didn't get-
anything.
I don't
anymore.
know
I mean,
what
it was
he's
in Thanksgiving,
doing to.
but
Yeah, but apparently he is. So like, if
all right.
if you're gonna bring him back, like you would bring him back now because that's you know he's coming back.
I mean, he's
So
he's bringing sexy back.
Yeah, he is. So
Oh my god, she's not sexy though.
I did hear
Wow.
a interesting theory about he was just saying it for fun, but like it would be kind of interesting to see because he was supposed to be the second killer in Scream 3.
Mm-hmm.
So it was supposed to be Mark and the brother, but they decided to make him a good guy. But someone was like, "What if?" It sounds ridiculous, but it kind of like it would be kind of fun if it actually happens. What if Stu got plastic surgery done because he's all burnt up, and we find out in Scream 7 that Stu is now Mark as Patrick Dempsey, but how we find out is Mark goes, "I always had a thing for you, Sid," like or something like to kind of that's what he brings back Scream 1. He wasn't serious about that theory, but I was like, that would be kind of interesting actually. We wouldn't
Patrick
get Stu.
Dempsey said this?
No, a theory that on
okay.
Facebook that I saw in one of our horror groups. Yeah, I was like that. He wasn't serious, but it's like I would actually be it'd be an interesting way of bringing Stu back, but not Matthew Lillard. I would still want him to come back, but have it be Mark all along. They had kids together and I think at this point now in their relationship, like it'd be too late to. It'd be kind of dumb to bring that in, but
oh, I see.
Just got that?
I'm just putting it all together.
So Stu is marked with plastic surgery done.
Yeah.
Because I
feel like he would been the whole time.
Yeah. And because I feel like at this point, if Stu's alive, he had to have gotten some sort of plastic surgery because of his burnt up face and everything.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I just thought that would be an interesting little
Actually,
theory.
I really like that. Yeah.
No, I want Matthew Lillard. It's got to be.
Yeah.
No, but
that's the guy.
But that's too good because then it's like Stu got Sydney the whole time.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Definitely got her.
Yeah. Like, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and then I guess maybe he was one of the killers in Scream 3. Maybe that's revealed.
Yeah.
Like maybe if that was the story, maybe he did participate.
Mm-hmm. But he got away with it.
Yeah.
I like this.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not what I would want. I want Sydney to come back with Mark.
It would be a crazy twist, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, I guess there's a version of that you can maybe pull off and make it cool. But no, I want Sydney and Mark. They have their kids. And
how old would their kids be now?
Well, they were babies, I think, in Scream 5. She
had a stroller.
It was 5. Yeah, that's what I was trying to remember. If it was 5,
be a few years old, maybe.
Okay.
And and then Gail too. She's still around. So you got
Dewey's
them,
not.
and then then you got Stu, and there you go. That's all you need.
Yeah,
we don't need the core 4 to make a good Scream movie.
No, the new core 4, absolutely not. They were the worst.
That is if you can get Neve Campbell after this whole controversy thing. Would she even want to come back because of
Well, she
like,
didn't
it's
want to
just-
come back before.
Well,
Yeah.
because she
So-
wanted more than they were willing to give her
Yeah,
last
but now
time.
now you're not paying Jenna, so you got enough to get her.
Yeah, I mean
And
they
Come on,
they had
give her a
enough
good amount.
before, but I think it was she wanted more for like the scene, the part she's going to be in the movie. Like she was not in Scream 5 for that long, like
Yeah.
the last half hour or so of the movie.
Yeah.
After they kill off Dewey is when she makes her comeback. But
yeah, and she should have been in it for longer, and just not had Sam in it. Like,
see, that's the thing though. Like, I like that storyline with Billy and Sam. Like, I like that whole thing. And now we're just never gonna get closure from that because we're just never like they were setting up something for her.
I'll give
now
you closure, Joel.
It's
over.
I don't. I don't like that closure. I wanted one more movie with her, like
maybe
I don't know,
Stu
either becoming
is...
the villain or getting over it, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Stu is still haunted by Billy and everything that happened, and so he still has like flashbacks to Billy, and
you can't give two characters Billy flashbacks, like,
or I don't know,
dumb.
maybe he I'm just trying to give you closure. Sam was killed off screen. She's
done. I wonder if they're gonna like kill her character off, like if that's just gonna they're gonna be
talk
a line
about
in the
it.
movie or something that they're gonna discuss where she died, or just not talk about her.
It
at
like
all,
starts
or...
at her gravesite.
You see Sam and Tara side by side. No, don't kill Tara because I feel like they can bring her back at some point.
Yeah. You don't need to kill Tara. Tara was fun. I mean, Jenna is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Just Sam.
There is a movie coming out next year with Melissa Barrera. I think it's coming out next year. It's like a monster movie with the Radio Silence team.
The Radio Silence guys. Yeah. So I mean, they didn't fire her, so that's good.
Okay, so I want to talk about some of the other controversy on our page.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Move to the next topic.
Yeah, we've laid this to rest, Joel.
We have not. It will never be laid to rest.
So we have some other stuff going on our Facebook. It has really brought some amazing attention. And it started with a simple statement.
It was actually
that
posted
was
to Instagram.
A meme
that was shared to Facebook via the connection.
Okay, so it was shared on Instagram and Facebook. And it was a meme that compares that kids these days are growing up with Freddy Fazbear, whatever you want to call him. While our generation, or what is this? Yeah. Our generation grew up with Freddy Krueger. Yeah. And so it shows a picture of Freddy Fazbear. It says, "This Freddy, our generation grew up with this Freddy."
Yeah.
And it has been amazing to see the responses to this meme. Some have been highly offended by the comparison. A lot have found it very funny.
Yeah.
Thousands have
never seen a meme
funny.
like that before.
I know, it's so obvious.
There's comparisons to everything. Like
yeah.
Like even back when Five Nights at Freddy's first came out, like it was like, like Freddy Krueger, like that was the obvious connection.
Yeah.
When you're talking about horror or something scary, you talk about Freddy.
But it
One
wasn't
and
a
the same.
movie yet. But it wasn't
No,
a
I know
movie
it
yet.
wasn't a
And
movie,
so
but it's still Freddy.
now that it's
Yeah.
become a movie,
Yeah.
it's like even more of a comparison.
Yeah.
And it is funny how some people just don't even, haven't even thought to compare them
Yeah. It's amazing.
until seeing it side by side. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's true, huh?
Yeah, this is
Like-
the Freddy for this time, and that's the Freddy
And
for
I
that
think
time.
that for some people that are laughing at it or think it's funny, it's like, yeah, I've been thinking this. Finally, I see someone who's like confirming or validating what I've
Yeah.
been thinking, right? Like that's why we like memes, because it's
Yeah.
like you can relate to it. You can
Yeah.
relate to that thought. And then it's like there's some people that are getting really offended.
Yeah.
And the funny part to me about that is the meme doesn't say one is better than the other. It doesn't say, this generation is so soft or anything
Yeah.
like that. It's just saying this generation has this Freddy and our generation had this Freddy.
Yeah.
And then the offense, people getting offended,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, well, you're reading into it
Yeah.
and then getting offended by
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's the
Where
internet
maybe
for you,
there's-
though.
Yeah. And maybe there's like a connotation in there because the picture of Freddy Fazbear is like he looks all jolly or whatever.
Well, it's from the video game. It's like
hmm
a video game like screenshot or whatever.
Yeah.
But even if they show the movie version of him,
Yeah. I think
it's still
it
the same. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's scarier.
Well-
and he's definitely not scary in that movie. He's building forts. So
Yeah.
In one scene.
Oh, he doesn't do anything else.
Well, and
Yeah, it's from the video game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and it's funny though because he's not meant to look scary necessarily because he's an animatronic for a
Yeah.
kid's
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
Both stories are valid. Like
Mhm.
both stories, the story of Freddy Fazbear
Mhm.
is a good story.
Mhm.
Like it's
Mhm.
a scary, intense story. Whether we think that the movie was done well did it well or not is, on another podcast that you can listen to on our review.
Another episode.
But yeah, but the story of Freddy Krueger and the story of Freddy Fazbear are actually kind of similar
Yeah.
in they both
Involve children.
yeah, they both like were kind of had this history with kids,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And yeah, it's just funny to see the reactions. So what
Right.
do you guys think about?
Well, over 480,000 people have seen it.
Just more people that have seen this than have actually seen the movie. I'm sure.
That's a funny
Yeah,
thought.
that's probably true.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just I don't know. I saw it, I posted it, just like try to get content out in the world, and
it was funny.
it's funny.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
it
we
is
got
funny.
content.
Yeah.
And it's I thought, oh yeah, I've seen this before, but yeah, it's kind of funny. Let me put it out there. The movie just came out a little bit ago, so maybe that's why it's popping up. But yeah, it's weird how certain things really get a lot of attention.
Mhm.
And like a couple of years ago, I think it was a couple of years ago at this point, I posted a picture, like a fan art picture of Final Destination 6. There's a new one. It was announced a while back, and I
Yeah.
posted a fan made like poster of it. And that was on X, and that one got so much attention. And it's just like sometimes it's really weird how just some random things get so much attention. And but I think it has been funny to read some of the comments and stuff.
Yeah.
Like people throwing in, "Oh, my Freddy was Fred Flintstone."
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah. Yeah. Some people were really connecting with one or the other Freddy. And then some people were really trying to defend their Freddy.
Yeah.
And then then you get the Fred Flintstones
Yeah.
in there. And what's the other one, Joel? The Freddy Got Fingered.
Oh yeah, Tom Green's Freddy Got Fingered. What's
What about
another
Freddie
one?
Prinze Jr.? Hey, he's
Oh.
another Freddy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Another
People
Freddy.
grew up with him.
I grew up with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could have been
Yeah,
commented. I don't know. So
Yeah.
many comments. Someone might have said.
I mean, there could be some likes that are from some celebrities. I don't know.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
reached almost 1 million or 500,000 people. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
which
It
is
has
so crazy.
Yeah, it's really gotten out to the world, and it just really highlighted how much controversy there is around it.
Yeah.
And how the fans of Freddy Fazbear really want to defend his
honor,
reputation
Yeah.
and his and what do we think? Do you think Freddy Fazbear is comparable?
No. Not even close.
it's the thing with this. It's not even really making fun of Freddy Fazbear. It's just making it's literal fact. Like, we grew up with Freddy Krueger. They grew up with Freddy Fazbear. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no controversy here. Like, it's
yeah. That's the thing that's been like
literal.
really blowing me away is like, well, you can't argue with a fact, with an actual, exactly like you said, a literal fact. Like, and I can see where it's like, oh, kids these days don't know, what real scary is like.
Yeah.
But I think that the thing is like a lot of kids that started watching Freddy Fazbear or engaging with, because it was more on the video game. I feel like it was kids that were much younger that were engaging with that video game, even though it was made to be a more mature game and you weren't supposed to be playing it at a young age. There were a lot of young kids playing it. And so for someone who was young, 5, 6, 7, playing this game that this bear jumps out at you, there were a lot of jump scares and stuff.
Yeah.
Then it's scary, like I react very strongly to Pennywise because I saw it at such a young age and it was so scary. And so still to this day, I try to avoid looking at one side of Joel's screen.
Do I have Pennywise up there?
You do, right next to The Shining.
Oh yeah, I do.
And but I think that's the thing is like the people who are wanting to defend it I'm seeing it as the kids who, like, as a young kid, they grew up playing those video games and were very scared of it.
Yeah.
As an adult playing the video games, it's intense. Like, I have the first one on PlayStation, and like it can be pretty intense. Like, it's all pretty much the same thing, like, every single time, but sometimes those jump scares do come at you like when you're not expecting it, and like just like watching the clock go up to 6 o'clock, or like if it's at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and like that's when it gets really intense because that's when all the animatronics are out. And that's when you don't want to get jump scared because you got to go all the way back to
Yeah.
to 12. But it's like the game's intense. The game can be very scary for kids. Like it's
Mhm.
made me jump several times playing that game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
there are people that are like, well, in my day, Freddy Krueger, like there are people like that that's going to take this meme in that kind of context. But for
Yeah.
me, it's just a meme that's stating a fact.
It's
Like
just facts.
it's not saying that one's better than the other. It's just stating a facts.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, people are just
Yeah,
letting.
it's just it really is true that like the kids now that are growing up with the new horror movies, they're
Mhm.
growing up and gonna go see Freddy Fazbear, right? Like there's gonna
Yeah.
be more Freddy movies made, Freddy
Mhm.
Five Nights at Freddy movies made, and
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
what people are gonna see. So then when they think of Freddy as the horror figure,
Mhm.
people growing up are going to think of Freddy Fazbear.
Yeah.
And Freddy Krueger is what we think of.
Until they make another nightmare. Like we haven't had a nightmare movie in 13 years. So
Yeah.
let's get
Yeah.
on it,
So
people. Like let's. So I
Yeah.
mean, this is a lot of people's Freddy's because we haven't even had one. We haven't had a
yeah,
good Freddy.
exactly.
Like a lot of people don't like the remake of it. I like it more than most people seem to. A lot of people seem to hate it, but if you go back to like the one before that, what Freddy vs. Jason, it's been
Yeah.
20 years since we had a
Yeah.
Freddy movie. So it's like this is a lot of people's Freddy's right now
Yeah.
because we haven't had one in so
Yeah.
long. Like it's
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I think
So-
when you phrase something, this generation, our
Mhm.
generation, there's an automatic competition, I
Yeah.
think, that comes with the phrasing
Mhm.
like that. Our
Yeah.
generation is, or my generation, or however it's put.
yeah.
There's always going to be like a "we're better than you" kind of,
Yeah.
even if that's not explicitly said. So I think that's where the
Exactly.
assumption comes
Mhm.
from.
Yeah.
It's a competition.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that also, and this might upset some people, but I think that also is like when you're in that younger generation, right? When you're in that generation that is kids these days, like, and even like in your younger 20s and stuff, you are really defending your age, right? You're like in
Mhm.
this place, like when you become an adult at 18 to, I don't know, 20, 25 to 30, you're like really defending how you are old. You are an adult now and you know what
Mhm.
you're talking about. And by the time you get to our age, we're just like, oh, we're so old, our generation,
Yeah.
like we're the ones now saying
Yeah.
that.
Well,
Mhm.
there's an actual generational gap.
Yeah.
Like a
Mhm.
legit gap between millennials and Gen Z.
Mhm.
There's a pretty good gap there. And like there's a whole nother generation that's being born now. And
Yeah.
so that is, and I mean millennials, Freddy Krueger is really like Gen X.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not
He's
even our
84.
generation.
Yeah. I was going to
Yeah.
say, I was like,
I wasn't
trying to
even.
figure out where we land.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
early
I'm on the
80s.
cusp
So
of,
Yeah. Yeah, it
um,
might 84. I think maybe
yeah.
if you were born in 84, you're still a millennial, but you're not
I think
born
85 is the
watching
cusp.
Freddy.
Yeah, is the cusp of like
85
Yeah.
is?
you
Okay.
can be considered Gen X or millennial at
Okay.
85.
Okay.
And
So
he's
millennial
yeah.
starts in my year. Okay, 86.
Yeah.
Technically,
Yeah,
Yeah.
as
86
far
you're
as.
definitely a millennial, I think.
Mhm.
I think I've looked it up and I'm like in between.
Yeah.
Some things that
It
you'll see will say that I'm
the thing
millennial, some
with
will be Gen X.
millennial is it had. I've looked it up a couple of times and it's changed multiple times. Like the years in which you're
Mhm.
millennial. So I don't even really know what the line is exactly. I know I am a millennial, but I don't know where that
Yeah.
line is. Because I thought last one I checked, it was like 82 was
Oh,
the
okay.
was
Yeah,
when
and
it
maybe
started. So
yeah, maybe that's why I feel like I'm on the cusp because it has changed so many
mhm.
times.
But yeah,
Um,
there definitely is a gap between millennials and Gen Z because
Yeah.
even the millennials closer to Gen Z age, I can't I don't really know. Like there's two different people there.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like as
Oh
far
yeah.
as like what you listen to, what you are you looking up the the chart?
Yeah, millennial is 81 to 96, which is a
Yeah,
huge
see, yeah,
difference.
it is. It's like a 15-year gap right there. Like
Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
your 96. I don't know.
Yeah. So we're
Millennials should have
27
been
right now.
around the millennium, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
2000s should have been closer to the millennial than we are. I don't understand, or at least go into the 2000s.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
stops at 96. That's not millennial. I don't know.
Yeah. Gen
Doesn't make
Z is 97 to 2012. And so
15 years as well.
Freddy
sense.
Fazbear, he didn't even come out till 2014.
Yeah.
So he's 2 generations
Yeah.
removed.
I think Gen Y
Mhm.
is what we're in
Gen
right now.
Y, yeah.
Yeah. So he's a Gen Y guy.
And so
Gen
the
Y.
meme
So
is
we're not even
very
going in
accurate.
alphabetical order anymore.
No. We went X, millennial, Z,
Z, now
Y.
Y. Okay.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting how, and I don't know who gets to determine
Yeah.
who fits in what generation. Because I definitely feel like I remember seeing millennial being different than that before.
Yeah.
Like you said, you thought it was 83, and I thought at one point it was like 80, 84 or 85. So I feel like it has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Anyways.
anyway.
But yeah, so go check us out on Facebook. That's the whole point here. Go check us out on Facebook and on Instagram.
Yeah,
Just
seriously.
search ScareTalk.
How-
You'll have some fun with stuff we post.
Go check out the comments you see.
Yeah.
And
there's hundreds of comments on there. So.
Well, and
How's
check
our-
out other posts and see
Yeah.
like if other
Yeah.
things spike your interest and like really have like you have a reaction to, and let us
Mhm.
know, because it's kind of fun for us to be able to see, oh wow, this really got a reaction from people.
Yeah.
And we enjoy seeing the comments, and we'll respond, and we don't ever try to offend anyone, but you know, there's gonna be times that we may offend people.
Can't please everybody. So
No, and I think that if you listen to our podcast, then you know we do a podcast because we have opinions, right? We have like some
Yeah.
strong opinions, and I'll be the first to say that my opinion's not always valid or like has too much to go off of. It's just that's how I feel. I haven't liked Sam from the beginning. Still don't like her, and I'm not ever gonna like her now. And so, you know,
we're gonna review that movie she's gonna be in next year. So
Yeah.
better
see if
get
I
ready.
like her in that.
Might be on the most anticipated list.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh. Oh gosh.
Maybe.
Least
Honestly, I think that's my favorite list that we do, because it gives me I like looking at what's coming out in the future. Sometimes it gets pushed back a year later. Five Nights has been on my list since like 2020. So.
Yeah.
There's a good list though. I was making a list, not like in any sort of
you checking it twice?
Yeah, I was checking it twice, making sure it was not even and there's a lot of movies coming out next year that are like mentionable. Because I didn't even put everything down but I think it
Yeah.
was like 18 or something.
Wow,
That like I
nice.
wrote down just because they're, by certain directors or certain
Mhm.
franchises or something like that. So that episode will be coming end of the year.
End
Yeah.
of end of end of there.
End
I'm
of
s-
this year.
Yeah. No,
Or
what I
January
was,
1st.
We'll do it again
I-
next year too.
I heard. I thought you were saying end of the month. I was like, end of next month, but end of the year is better because that's
Yeah.
actually when it's coming out.
And you know what we're also going to be doing for Christmas?
Oh yeah.
We're going to
Yes.
be doing, how there's like the 12 days of Christmas?
Yeah.
Like
Well,
partridge
yeah.
in a pear tree.
Well, and
Five
there's
Rings.
and there's like the countdown to Christmas, the advent calendar.
Yeah.
Countdown.
So we thought it would be fun to give you guys 12 straight days of Scare Talk, 12 days of Scare Miss.
Yep.
So starting on December 12th, you will get a podcast every day up to Christmas, up to Christmas Eve. We'll give you one on Christmas Eve.
We'll give you a break on Christmas Day so you can be with your family.
Yep, you can talk about all 12 episodes that you watched and listened to.
And then catch up on anything that you missed.
Bring that to the Christmas dinner table. And look out for that. That's coming up pretty soon. And within those episodes, we'll have like our end of the year lists. We'll talk about the worst movies of the year, the best movies of the year. We'll talk about movies that we didn't review. And we might talk about some Christmas movies. Maybe.
Yes. If you're good.
Danny's already making his list, so. All right. So, guess what? This has been Scare Talk.
Has it?
It has.
Sleep tight.
It's been a different Scare Talk.
Yeah.
Don't let
controversy
Freddy or Freddy.
Freddy or Freddy.